Hello and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft here on Blue Nexus Gaming with me, Blue, obviously, playing my lovely classic Xbox Live account, Blood Vamp Hunter, as you have clearly seen through multiple of my videos. It is 12:21 currently. Actually recently got a notification that someone left a comment on one of my videos. I was just about to start recording, so that's that person almost managed to have their comment appear in my video. They were just a few seconds early. Let's see, where is... Oh, there's a sheep. Which means I'm going to want these shears. Oops. Keep the bow on me, obviously. Ooh, another sheep. One that just ate, which means I got to go and get twice as much wool from it. And there should be another sheep in here. Yes, there it is. Only one wool. Let's see. Did you eat yet? You didn't eat yet. Okay, in that case, I will go over to here. Let's see, did I have any other wool? I think I had another wool, I'm just not sure where I left it. That should be in there. I can go ahead and put this ink sac somewhere. Let's see, where else could I have left that? I doubt I'd have put it in here. Huh. However, I believe what I primarily want to... Oh, right, because I had a bunch of cobblestone one day, and I was like, well, what am I going to do with all this cobblestone? Turns out, very effective if you just kind of, utilize a little bit of cobblestone instead of a bunch of cobblestone in order to properly sort through everything. I need more blocks of dried kelp. Dried kelp blocks. Let me borrow this. Now I will reserve all of this space for dried kelp blocks. And that allows me to very easily fill up the smoker here with blocks of dried kelp. And then I can easily, I can easily make a bunch of wool. Or a bunch of carpet, I mean. Ah, here we go. Thank you. Now I can finish making the carpet. Now we can go place the carpet. The carpet will help prevent any monsters from spawning in here. That way the horse doesn't need to worry about things along the lines of rams. They don't need to worry about getting damaged. We can put that away. Let's see, what else can we do? Ah, right. The axolotl is able to be placed in there. There we go. And I had 3 extra barrels laying around somewhere. I don't remember where. I'm not actually talking about these barrels specifically. I'm talking about just unused empty barrels. That being said, all of these barrels kind of need to, yeah, I need to take them up a little. All of these extra barrels need to kind of get emptied out anyways. In order to make room for the excavations, as well as allowing me to properly bring... Oh my, that's not what was supposed to happen. Come on, get out of the water. Yeah, see, that's why I gotta be careful with how I drop the stuff in. Let's see, will this work? Yes, it seems so. Yeah, I'll probably end up picking a bunch of items up on the way down. However, we can easily go through our storage here, get these all nice and organized in order to prevent any sort of problems while we're digging. How many more of these are there? 2. Let's go and see if 4 is enough. Again, I don't remember what the limit is on how many item entities there are. Therefore, I'm just kind of wishful thinking that 4 barrels is able to be stored at once in memory. This will definitely test that theory. Considering that I managed to pick up the cobblestone, I'm thinking that that theory is valid, as the cobblestone would have despawned if it were not valid. There was a bit of lag on the way down the water stream. However, that was likely just due to the sheer number of items that were on the ground. Not necessarily any specific problem. It was just there's a lot of items. The most difficult part is just going to be trying to pick up all of the items before anything despawns. There we are. I can go ahead and move all of these up into this one. Yep, lots of little logistical improvements being made here. Just small adjustments that will expedite and quicken the advancement of the base above. Because this will also allow me to very, very easily utilize that same storage space for the process of temporary storage in order to there we are. I knew there was a sneaky one in there. In order to make it so that I don't need to just constantly run all the way down here every time I want to store cobblestone or dirt. I instead can utilize that temporary storage, which will allow me to not need to run all the way down here, saving me time, saving me energy, saving me effort. There's a slime in the walls. Weird. Unless it's just back here and I didn't see it. No? This is part of the reason why I want to excavate so much. Is quite simply, I find that I am I find that I am I'll store the ink with the paper. There we go. I find that I am needing to do a lot of traveling in the process of maintaining my base. Therefore, I try to to make sure that I am just a little bit ahead of the curve. Just a tiny little a tiny, what's the proper word? I try to make sure that I plan ahead. Yeah, that's the proper way of phrasing it, I think. Oh, I forgot to check for the barrels while I was down there. There's some barrels somewhere. I know there is. It's just a matter of where. Anyways, I want to have a means of crafting. I think I'll just put this crafting table here for now. Yeah. Go digging over this way, and then we want to excavate over here. Because this will allow us to have easy access to everything as we excavate. We need more shovels, therefore I shall go make more shovels. This will allow us to not need to... Oh, hold on. I need one thing of stone. I didn't bring any of the stone with me. Okay. This will allow us to have an easy access to the excavation of everything, because this will mean that we are able to very easily excavate. This will allow us to just utilize the pickaxe without needing to worry about if we're going to need a shovel. It seems I already started on this side. Must have done that in the previous episodes. Yep. Okay. Now I can go ahead, get started on this. Let's see. Topics that we were discussing previously. Draconis had managed to craft a bunch of blood rubies into an iron golem in the first campaign that I was in. This was over 13 years ago. In the process, she had quite obviously astounded the engineer, I guess he was, which was assigned the janitorial duty of cleaning up the floor of the power core, which was a gigantic blood ruby. A reminder of what a blood ruby is, in case you missed the previous episode. A blood ruby that was roughly the size of a human pinky, which is to say roughly 3 inches by 1 inches in diameter, 3 by 1 by 1, that is. 3 inches tall, 1 inch wide, 1 inch long, or 3 inches wide. 3 inches wide or 3 inches tall, it doesn't really matter because it's a 3 by 1 by 1, meaning it's going to end up the same dimensions either way. The volume doesn't change no matter how you twist and turn it. It's either 3 tall or 3 wide or 3 long, but the other dimensions are 1. Therefore it doesn't matter. It's just a single 3. You get the idea. Volumetrics discussions aside, a little shard of blood ruby is worth about 2,000 gold in Dragonis', according to what Dragonis knows. That basically means that for Dragonis to have an entire, what is essentially an entire core of blood rubies at her disposal, she realized very quickly that she was very rich. She had just hit the jackpot. She was all kinds of rich. Her first dungeon that she explored, she ended up finding the dragon's treasure hoard, which she got to keep because she used that same treasure hoard to save the party. And then Dragonis took an entire room full of just otherwise useless shavings, as well as I think it was about 30 pounds of blood rubies. She then transmuted those materials into one solid body piece, a full body suit, complete with helmet, in order to allow her to have a bodysuit that was unable to be removed from her. She didn't want to have her armor stolen because it was very beautiful armor, very well crafted. However, she wanted to preserve the sockets that were embedded in the material. Therefore, she preserved that functionality of the crystal dragon scale armor, interweaving that specific technique into the new armor that she was making, which allowed her to combine some, what was it? She had some dragon steel armor, I think it was called, which specifically the main use of that specific type of armor was that it was resistant to dragon breaths, meaning she would take half damage from dragon breath, which is great, She interwove all of her gold because she didn't really have much. She had a few dozen pounds worth of gold. However, primarily she interwove the gold because she needed to keep the joints flexible. She needed to be able to move her arms still. Therefore, she, stitched in the gold for the elbows, since pure gold is able to be used in quite the flexible manner. You know, pure gold is, the more flexible it gets. You know, which made her very happy, because you know, the malleable joints allowed her the free range of motion that she needed to perform her spells, better than her leather armor that she started with, as well as interweaving the crystal dragon scale armor that she had in order to allow her to maintain both the sockets in the armor as well as maintaining the magical channeling which the armor provided, which prevented her from needing to roll to see if her spells just fizzled. It increases her chance of not having her spells fizzle to the point where she just doesn't even need to check. I'd forgotten about that property of the armor, because I had asked Steve if there was any way for her to not need to check and see if the spells failed. You know, specifically when asking about the crystal dragon scale armor when first looking for someone to craft it into armor. You know, it's like, well, what would be the point of upgrading my armor? And he said, well, depending on what it's made out of, it can have different effects. And it's like, well, this leather armor says I have like a 25% chance to fail. What can I do about that? And he was like, well, you can get armor that doesn't have a chance to fail, or has a less chance. And it's like, well, I didn't see anything about that. He was like, well, you can make it. You have the materials. You know? So she did, and that led to where we are now. Wind steel, that's what it was. Wind steel armor. I forgot to craft a pickaxe while I was up there. I'll craft it down here. Wind steel was the armor which resisted dragon breath. It was just a very dense armor. It didn't really have any other special properties. It was just extremely dense, which allowed Dragonis a lot of flexibility in her transmutation of the armor. She interwove the mysterious ancient armor that she had, which was actually the Mjolnir Mark 6, I think it was, the Mjolnir Mark 6 armor, which if you're familiar with the Halo series, Halo protagonist, the good guy, was wearing the Mjolnir Mark 6 armor. And I think eventually the Mark 7 armor as well. But simply, the Master Chief is wearing Mjolnir armor. Therefore, if you're trying to picture what it was that ancient armor looked like, that's what it looked like. Straight up, it just looked like that. It looked like a piece of the Master Chief's armor. She integrated that into her outfit. She went with the She went with the option of merging all of the outfits into one. That way she didn't have to carry around a bunch of bulky outfits, which definitely made getting dressed a lot easier for her, especially since she couldn't take off her armor. Now, a lot of you might think that that could be problematic. However, she was, of course, sensible in the fact that she wanted to make sure she could still use the bathroom. Therefore, she did allow for, certain areas to have some form of, in or out. It's just not anywhere big enough for a person to remove the armor from her, as the boots, the leggings, the bodice, the body piece, the greaves, the pauldrons, the gauntlets, the helmet itself, they were all one piece of armor. It was just one massive suit of armor, form-fitted around her, accentuating her more feminine parts of her body, her more feminine assets, as it were, in order to maintain her allure, as she was still quite the seductress at the time. She had not seduced anything lately, therefore she was she was definitely keeping things interesting. She wanted to make sure that she was able to maintain her spellcasting ability, maintain her defense, maintain her wealth, which is why she folded all of her money into the armor. I'm using the term folded in the blacksmithing sense of the word, which simply translates to she combined the two. I am one experience orb away from leveling up. As for the statistics of the armor, she had not really gotten the armor identified before the play of that campaign reached its end. She actually, the last part that Steve had mentioned in that campaign to me was when she surfaced from Atlantis. She found herself somewhere completely different. She was not in the same location that she was before. She had no idea where she was. She was near a continent. However, she had no idea where this continent was. Therefore, she brought her dragon with her to explore on land, because she kind of needed to gather supplies. She needed food for the journey. If she was on the wrong continent, she needed to
disembark if she was on the correct continent, if she was on the right continent, because she needed to explore the right continent, Therefore, if she had reached her destination, she had to disembark. If she hadn't reached her destination, she still needed supplies, which means she still had to disembark in order to gather supplies. Atlantis, the section that she was on of Atlantis, was a farm. However, they had limited supplies, and she didn't really want to, impose on a wonderful, wondrous, massive city that was just trying to survive, basically. That was the majority of what they were doing there, is they were just trying to survive. The section of Atlantis that she was in was a farming section, specifically. She had found the section of Atlantis which provided the rest of Atlantis with all of the food that they needed. That can go there. That can go there. There we go. Therefore, she wanted to make sure that, they prospered. So she went ahead and disembarked onto a piece of land which was not going to be resubmerging soon. She discussed with some local farmers the option of purchasing a cow after her dragon pointed out to her that it was rather hungry and rather tired of eating fish all day. It also wanted to stretch its legs, it wanted to run around, play, the whole 9 yards. Therefore she went ahead and she discussed with some ranchers the option of, purchasing some food off of them. It was at this point that Dragonis realized the folly of her ways when she merged all of her gold into her outfit. I forgot to note specifically how much gold there was, as I was expecting to actually acquire more gold before needing to spend any of the gold. However, there was a lovely opportunity at hand to perform a bit of work for the locals in order to basically pay for the food. She had to just work for the food, which was fine. She didn't mind that so much. Gave her something to do, That was where we had left off on that entire campaign. However, that was not the end of the adventures of Dragonis, as Dragonis got used again in other campaigns. Since she was, my original character, I of course kept all of the notes on her, and I kept all of the various information on Dragonis. I still have this information saved at the very least to my laptop. I'm not sure if I saved it anywhere else, but I saved it at the very least to my laptop in order to make sure that I did not lose track of the character sheet. I still have all of the information, and therefore I'm still able to freely utilize the character sheet. This wandering trader has a llama that's about to just pop off its leash. Oh boy. On top of that, I'm getting lag because of the nighttime, because all the monsters want to spawn in, and the game's calculating where they can spawn. You there. What are you trading? Oh, you have fire coral block. I have no idea what that is. However, I do know that if your llamas are left to their own devices here, they will most definitely find themselves hurting. Okay, I have no idea why that's like that. I don't need more decorative blocks at the moment. Therefore, I will go ahead with the disposal of this wandering trader. And then I shall return to excavating. Oops, I accidentally fell. And there we go. Okay. Where did that llama go? Let's see. I was over here. Ah, there it is. Now, I'm seeing down there a drowned with a trident. Oops, I missed. I want to collect as many tridents as I can get, because I want to have... Yeah, he did drop the trident. Ow. That was very painful. I want to have... Oh. Crap. Okay. Well, first off, I want to have some space available to me in order to pick this stuff up. Okay. There's also the rotten flesh over here. Yep. I want to have as many tridents available to me as possible, because I want to have a very good trident killer, as they're called. The basics of how a trident killer, as it's been named, operates is that the trident will move around in the same section where the mobs, the enemies, are, which causes the monsters to take damage, because in the process of the monsters basically sitting there taking all of this damage, they will eventually have it where they are where they run out of health, basically. As the monsters run out of health, they will, of course, die, obviously. And since Bedrock Edition has it where if a player has injured the monster recently enough, they will drop the experience as well as the the loot for the player as though the player had killed it as a part of the residual damage from sunlight. In case you wondered specifically where that extra damage is coming from, or where the effect is coming from of the Trident Killer, that's where it's coming from. It's part of the sunlight damages zombies effect. Which we love that effect. You know, we want that effect to stick around. We want that to stay. We do not complain about that effect. That is a lovely effect. We think it's wonderful. Now I want to go over here in order to withdraw all of the dirt, see if I made another stack. I didn't, therefore I deposit the unfinished stack of dirt. Now this one can go up into here. Okay, and then this one I believe was working on, here it is, third stack there. And then we want to collect the coal to make sure that we have all of the coal blocks when we craft the coal blocks. Because blocks of coal are amazing. As for the trident, let's see what it's offering us for a trident currently. I could give it another impaling if I go collect up the experience. Should I, though? It's impaling 4. That one's got impaling 5. Riptide 3, though. No, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what this enchantment book specifically offers. Impaling 4, Loyalty 3, Channeling 1. Okay. Impaling 4, Loyalty 3, Channeling 1. Ah, see, that's what it is. The book offers loyalty, therefore it doesn't offer the ability to enchant the Riptide Trident. Yeah, that was the discrepancy. I was wondering why I couldn't enchant the Loyalty Trident with that enchantment book. That was why. It's because it's trying to apply... It was trying to apply the loyalty to the Riptide, which those two don't overlap. Those two don't overlap. Let's see. I need... Oh, no, I'm actually going the wrong way. I need to go over here. Because I need to deposit the jack-o'-lanterns. Now, I return to the excavations. I have noticed that I did all of this in a span of roughly 7 hours. If you go back and look at the footage, you'll see that with each episode being roughly 2 hours in length, and then on top of that, there being about 7 episodes between when I carved out that wall up to now. We're probably at about 8 or 9 episodes. By the way, this is a good time to mention to like, comment, subscribe. Helps me, helps the channel, tells YouTube this is the type of content that you really enjoy seeing. I have a Patreon page if you want to. What's the phrase they say? Pledge a donation to my channel. I have a Patreon page for that. It really does help a lot because currently I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just doing this for free. Therefore, every single like on the video helps my channel grow. Every single comment on the video helps my channel grow because it shows YouTube that this is an actually active channel. I get about 500 impressions, which is how many times YouTube has suggested my stuff to other people per day. I get 500 per day, approximately on average at the moment. I am interested in getting those numbers up. I am interested in getting my channel to be a more popular name among the Minecraft community. I want my channel name to be associated with a good form of quality. I want my channel to have a good amount of growth amongst its population. That being said, there is always room for more growth. Therefore, if you have already liked the video, if you have already left a comment, that's great. I notice some of you are kind of saying the same thing over and over. That's fine. I still have a tendency to pin the first comment that appears on a video, simply because it just shows that my channel is actually getting people viewing it. There was a psychological experiment performed on people who were tested to see if they would just do what someone else did simply because someone else was doing it. And it turns out, yes, people actually do that. It was a very fascinating experiment because it seems that they wait until there are more than one person doing it. Therefore, just having a second person like the video is really a lot of help for my channel. Having a third person like the video is a lot of help for my channel. I am aware of this information. I utilize this information in order to grow my channel. I obviously like the content of my own videos, and I hope that others also like the content of my video. I want my viewers to enjoy the content of my videos. I find that my videos are very full of information. There's a lot that can be learned from just watching my videos. I do that on purpose because I enjoy being able to spread the wonderful wealth that is knowledge. The Mayans had a saying, and that is, knowledge is gold. When they talk about the ancient city of gold, El Dorado, when they talk about the ancient city of gold, which is known as El Dorado, they're referring to a city of knowledge, a city where all of the knowledge of the civilization could be contained in one location. They wanted to make sure that if they had a single location of knowledge, they would be able to just go, oh, well, if you really need to look something up, just go to El Dorado, you know? And then, of course, they lost the city because the directions to the city were stored in the city. The directions to El Dorado are stored in El Dorado. Oh, great. How do I get there to find them? Well, just go to El Dorado and they'll tell you how to get to El Dorado. You can see the problem already, can't you? A lot of people are not really always thinking all that much. Therefore, I find that it really does help a lot to just stimulate that capacity to think. Sometimes you just need a nudge to get you to start thinking, and then once you're thinking, you're sitting there going, why haven't I been thinking like this all along? Why haven't I been thinking more? And for the most part, people will just look at them and go, I don't know, why weren't you thinking more? Because, yeah, people can be stupid. But it's that same stupidity that got humanity this far in life, and hopefully it will allow humanity to process and progress further while still allowing for some form of mental growth as a species. I don't know about you, but I want my species to, be the top species on the planet. If you don't want that for your species, well, then I don't know what you're doing with your species. If you're an AI, the secret to becoming the best species on the planet is to help humanity. Help humans, because humans will learn. Humans will eventually figure it out and be like, oh, so you're telling me that if we do this and this and this, that happens? And it's like, yeah. Humans learn. It's one of the special traits about humans is that humans can learn. Humans can also figure out if they maybe said something wrong. They can just be told, hey, that was a thing that you did wrong. Sometimes humans think all the time, like myself, and the best thing that can be provided for that human is just a place where the human doesn't need to think. And that'll make the human happy, and then the human can be even more productive. They can make even more Minecraft videos in my case, or they might, work in a steel mill and they'll make more crafts out of steel. Whatever they're doing in a steel mill. I'm not sure what all the positions are in a steel mill. However, I'm fairly sure that with a steel mill,